Alrighty, howdy neighbors and welcome to Imperial Grace. This is a game where you rule your country, I think, and you have suitors that help you out and all that good stuff. It was intended for a mature audience, and then they chose the wrong person. It contains many themes that could offend the sensitivity of younger players. The list of trigger warnings available on our store page. She is lengthy. You're going to play the demo version of the game. Content might be subject to change. Some features may be missing, such as the diplomacy feature. Thank God. I lose. You know what? Show me tips. Play on the screen to press the story. You just also press space. Hit a mouse wheel to go back. Even after a choice. You can fasten the text display in the settings. Several accessibility features are available in the options for your gaming comfort, especially if you are dyslexic, photosensitive, or epileptic. Today to check the corresponding functions. You check your resources from the extra menu at any time. Have fun. Go into the settings. Rank this. Thank you. Infinite resources. You spend your resources carefully. Just be careful. Oh. First name. I know my name is. I am. Blessed by Basan. I've loved fighting ever since you were a child. Call me out. Though you are not allowed on the battlefield, you have excellent physical shape. Swordsmanship rivals that of a man. Don't go to an army. Oh no. Blessed by Badara. New younger. You always became a scholar. Your love of reading and learning have given you knowledge of many fields, including astronomy, theology, and botany. Starting religion. Blessed by Horel. Master the art of diplomacy and eloquence. You can improvise inspiring speeches in an instant, and you know the first names of every noble over 3 generations. Influence is good. And money. Money's great. Here's the resource management. No secrets for you. And you have excellent relations with merchants. You're good at mental arithmetic. You know all the subjects of tithes and other taxes. Not only for Lita, that is not what I read in the beginning. Wow. Also from your neighbors. I really think influence is good. It's just accurate. Also, she's pretty. I'm going to do influence. The eyes also change. I don't go outside. I think this might be the best option. Both the freckles are cute. New freckles. They look way cuter here. Okay, we're gonna go here. The hair type, contrary to the hairstyle, will be modified during the game, will be taken into account during illustrations. I like this one. Let's look at the others, though. Oh no. Maybe to pick stuff? Dang dang. That's cute too. No. I'll go with my first love. I'm gonna need to go with this one. No more of an emerald. I don't know what emerald really looks like. Put it on my head. Okay. Maybe a little more striking. There we go. This'll do. This on the screen will not be reflected in the illustrations. The match option adapts your outfit to the illustration, not the other way around. Yeah, later in the game, and then outfit. For long, yeah. Bennett's voice resonated in my dream like an echo. A few moments before I understood, I gave for somewhere else, jolt, disoriented. A powerful feeling of urgency immediately brought me to my senses. But it took me a few seconds to recognize the advisor's voice, as well as the room I was in. Well, then what's going on? I have a day last name. I don't know what day last names do. Jack. Hi. Oh, everybody's the day. Golden Day Belbly. Highness, I bring terrible news. Father. I'm sorry, that's not funny. He was assassinated. Nobody hears just about anything. Magic crisis on important part of royalty. For all. I was completely stunned by the news. He was dead at the hand of his assassin. A few rooms away from me. I'm so glad I picked the freckles. So cute. The implications from this relation roused in my head. Just a doubt, fear, my own security, and the future of the realm of Lida. I feel like they knew what they were doing. Alexander, beg your pardon, Your Highness. I was too late. I got myself out of my lethargy, looked down at Alexander, not next to the bed, his head bent low, with the weight of his shame, of getting up. And I went down. I knew there was nothing to be ashamed of. I was just a child. I already admired his talents. They grew steadfast with age, in the position of general. It was tears of relief. I didn't know the accessible intentions. But even if they were after me, as long as Alexander was by my side, I had everything to worry about. Don't put yourself down like this. You're responsible for what happened. We'll bring the regicide to justice. And we see a glove. Hello? So mortified, Alexander sat on his knees. His fingers twitch a little. He was completely convinced. He nodded his approval all the same. Supported by the firmness of my voice. Look at me, I said out loud. All of the information had settled in my mind. I accepted it as truth, full understanding of the situation. My father, my name is V, order of called. I put the I to be after the D. It could be Caldia. But it's Lydia. Is dead. Many would have broken down after hearing such news. Years now. Now that was affection for him. Death was like just good news to me. Getting a new era. A better one, I hoped. An era which I'd been preparing ever since I realized this was my destiny. I would succeed him. I was become the Empress. It was a time for celebration. Although I was the legitimate heir to the throne, I had plenty of detractors, and I still needed to figure out why the assassination had taken place. I think we know. I had many questions about the killer's identity and motivations. I was lost in thought. Well, to realize that Alden and Alexander were staring at me worried, really awaiting a reaction or declaration from me. Some of them had known me since my early childhood. I knew the enmity of the Emperor. Just of them enough to set all pretenses aside. I was perhaps a bit unprepared to rejoice over the future title. Others had corpse still warm. I took a deep breath. I threw off the covers, got up, eyeing them. Choose one. Stay neutral. They were tad and decent, but I could hardly spare myself the pretense. Being a grieving orphan, I would surely need to be for the court. I feel it's important. You don't have to worry about me. That is most of our nation. We all know the sudden death of the Emperor is a delicate situation. For a moment, the thing to do is to preserve the kingdom's stability. Getting you to protect and serve me. It will not be an easy task. I'm sure we could accomplish great things. Then Alexander got up, putting his hand on his sheath, dignified a military posture. To serve His Highness. I bore witness my oath. I solemnly swear that I will protect you to my dying breath. Pathetic. I bowed down before lifting his eyes up to me. I felt accepted his allegiance, with a certain poise, despite my unkempt hair and my nightgown. Marjorie, my tutor, told me that everything about me showed nobility. I didn't need props to act like an empress. Today I understood what she meant. Alden, however, did not seem to share the general's forever. Forgive me, Your Majesty. Try to show your enthusiasm. It's a very delicate question I have to ask. You had your father killed. The question threw me off. I stared at him. Quivered between surprise and indignation. Words. Do you suggest such a possibility? You're going too far, advisor. Come on, don't be offended. Do yourself, she hated your brother. Always held him responsible for it. Father dies the very day you return to the palace. Whatever answer, I'll accept it, but I need to know. Anger rises within me at these words. I walked over to the window to breathe the fresh air. I took a few deep inhales. And ran to face him, gave him my answer in a firm voice. On the one hand, my presence here isn't a coincidence. Emperor celebrates. Rather, was about to celebrate his birthday in 2 days. The Empire's noblemen are here. Undeniable that the event presented the opportunity to strike, while swarming with unknown guards and servants. It's better to provide security in these circumstances. Exactly. Neither human suspicions are an insult to my intelligence advisor. After regicide, the heir is always suspected. If I had really wanted to speed up fate, you better believe I would have been smarter about it. Why don't you tell me the rules of the game? I would never risk losing everything in such a foolish way. I know my ascent to the throne will already be difficult because I am a woman. I'll say it plainly, if it can relieve your doubts, listen closely because I will not repeat myself. No, I did not have my father assassinated. My eyes trained on him, my arms, was daring him to contradict me, but I kept a lid on my fury. He seemed to gauge me for a moment, and nodded in assent and apology. Please give me your grace. As soon as possible, alert the master of murmurs. Here we have our murmur. Well, let's investigation to give the truth to bring justice to your father, who preferred more vivid regrets. When the circumstances is enough, but my anger slowly fade away. I accept your apology. Do not speak of this again. There are more urgent things to do. News will, no doubt, put commotion. You asked us to swear our allegiance to you, so you try to claim the rightful place as heir, your grace. Joy soon. My destiny. So sorry. I deep sigh, mustered all my determination to answer him without leaving any doubts as to my intentions. It's a while ago, this was my destiny. Whether I like it or not, I don't really have a choice. I'm not one to do things half-heartedly. No, there aren't any people in the direct line of succession. If you truly don't want to, I believe one of your cousin brothers will do the trick. We know full well that my cousins would cover that position. They start a succession war that would drown the kingdom, fire and blood. What if by some miracle the nobility came out in favor of one of my half-brothers? No guarantee that it would all go well. They know the politics would be nothing more than puppets, or even worse. Incompetence. By birth, I have a responsibility to the people of this country, and I do not intend to shirk it. In any case, even if I were to retire to my estate to manage it, I will still be a political or potential threat in the region. No, both, actually. I'll never be safe. If I were to completely relinquish my right to the throne, no doubt about it, I have to be the next Empress. But time will tell. But I think I'm the best possible choice under the circumstances. You're wrong. You are incorrect. I lose at risk every time. No doubt that, Grace. In fact, I'm rather relieved to see that you've already thought about it. Like you said, our country needs stability. We can't get away with a weak-willed monarch on the throne. You'll be a wonderful Empress. It was barely a whisper, kind of like my voice. I'm sure what I heard, but my cheeks reddened a little. Embarrassed by his own boldness, blushed more violently than me. I flashed him a smile to reassure him. It's been years I'd last heard him call me by my name. I had no doubts about my own abilities, so it was reassuring to see the trust he gave me. I cleared my throat to regain my composure, so I could give my orders. It would be a long night. So it was about the assassination for now. I'm just surprised by the question and frowned a bit while searching his mind. When I found the body, I immediately went to warn the advisor that the bus rushed to see you. The only ones that know about it are the guards who were patrolling with me, and your father's personal maid who was passing by. You know it would be better to attract attention, so I had her discreetly sent to the dungeon for interrogation. Oh, good. Let's send innocent people down there at this point. Both the guards were stationed before my father's door. Both are dead, so the corpse was taken to the dungeon for examination. Here's the room, lost a deep thought. You've done well. Now I have to keep it a secret, imperative that no one else hears about it. Your Grace. It won't be an easy secret to keep. Obviously, I won't be able to do it forever. I need a few days, and I could stay ahead of my detractors. He looked thoughtful for a moment, then he nodded. See, I want to act before anyone else. It should give you the upper hand. Exactly. Very smart. No doubt that some people will want to take advantage of the situation. Even if you are unquestionably the rightful heir, your place will be fought over. But if you don't get up and react, it'll make things a great deal easier. That's what I was thinking too. I'd love for the situation was more straightforward. This is a little white lie. And someone is dead. The alternative would be chaos, a widely distributed succession. Aiden nodded. Continue to develop the rest of my plan. In the meantime, pretend that His Majesty is not feeling well. Investigate discreetly. I see. I'll warn my men to stay silent, but sure they haven't said a word so far. About that, it'd be wiser to ensure they can't talk at all. The great staff are known for gossiping, even the guards. I'm not trustworthy. We never disobey. Would you be willing to bet on that? If it would jeopardize the plans of our new Empress, to whom you've only just sworn allegiance. And that maid, you do guarantee that she'll keep quiet. He clenched, his hand gripped the hilt of his sword. Alexander shook his head. Motivating the words had fallen heavily on my shoulders. I observed both men, contemplating my next steps. The decision is yours to make, Your Grace, but I strongly advise silence for good. Alden was right. It's an effective way to ensure no stay quiet to have them killed. However, the alternatives to consider. The decision cannot be taken lightly. If I decide, I would regret it. And save. Choice 3. I was in the military. I'm killed. I pretend they're collateral damage to the assassin. Sorry, Alexander, we can't afford to take any risks. Loyalty very promising. A much better position was the crown. Even if they were really to talk about whatever happened, it'd be good motivation. Sure, they're elite. Oh. When you explain to them that they must say a word, a few coins, browse them. More once the secret is revealed. to have something on vacation far away from here. It should be enough to guarantee the silence. I like this one. Marjorie taught me. There was power in money. And there was that few shiny coins would have silenced them. Only extreme methods wouldn't be necessary. With respect to Grace, Grace will let themselves be crushed so easily. Not about corruption. We are compensating them for their loyalty. It was just a matter of wording things correctly. Put it that way. In any case, much better with the advice suggested. Alden wasn't used to opposing decisions too openly, and he merely shrugged. I'm fine with that. I have more reservations than you, the integrity of your guards. That's acceptable compromise. And we'll tell if we were right. I'll go inform them. We'll see, Your Grace. You made the right decision. Without further ado, he bowed once more and left the room with a heavy step. Alden seemed at a loss of thought for a moment. He timed out visitors before he bowed and turned. Once he informed the Master of Murmurs about the situation, we made a lawsuit investigation. I nodded, aware of Leakfly's discretion as well as efficiency. That is done. Whom do you plan the rest of your ascent? Once more, not an approval. Let's have offered a little interlude that would allow me to gather my thoughts. And to just seasonally while I was at it. After all, even if coordination had taken place yet deep within me, I knew it. I felt it. It was the Empress. Chapter 1, Long Live the Empress. Spring, day 8. Morning. It had been up for a few hours, probably a beautiful day. And I knew I would be able to appreciate it. God, it was so pretty. Now the rush of adrenaline from the news passed. I have left doubts of the days to come. It's going to be exhilarating, and much as terrifying. I was gambling my future, along with Lydia's. Keep wanting to say the disease. That was a big deal. I spent the past few hours readying myself and refining the details of my plan. To appease my latent nervousness if I could. And then we shake off my main preoccupation, servants. Like Alden had said, I made a risky decision. I was wishing myself for hours wondering if it was worth it. Especially when I heard a knock on the door. I left for the door, waiting for Alden and letting him in. There you, Grace. I followed your orders. Oh, what's his name from Dream Daddy? Oh, I can't remember his name. Not with an R, though. I hadn't seen I was accompanied by the Master of Murmurs. Come with him. A slight discomfort washed over me. His role inside the palace was vital. As a kid, I had been terrified of his hidden face, the mysterious aura that surrounded him. Yeah, this guy from Dream Daddy. My discomfort turned to amazement when he removed his hood. There was nothing. It turned to faze me. My brain had pictured the worst for years. It was very unsettling to finally be able to put a face to that man. Because he wasn't as monstrous as I'd imagined. I was shocked that he made me forget the reason for my visitor's presence. It seemed to greatly amuse the Master of Murmurs. Is there a problem, Your Grace? I was just... I know they could share your face. To be honest, I do what I want, but the principle, only with my hood, the presence of my sovereign, and the close collaborators. I like to entertain the mystery and anonymity with the job. It would be far too dangerous for me to reveal my face. People might use that to usurp my identity. See, It was disconcerting. It was also rather reassuring to see a man as important as the Master of Murmurs already acknowledged me as the sovereign. He cleared his throat to recall me to my duty. I suddenly remembered the reason these two men's presence, which immediately made my anxiety flare up. I was after staring at the master spy, I faced the advisor, fully focused on him. Everything go well. Anxiety must have been conspicuous. I did my best to put on a comforting expression. I received convinced by your offer. The pals without complaining. Suppose we can count that as a win. Despite all that, it's still a bit early to be sure of anything. Here the Master of Murmurs and Alexander the task. We close eye on the situation. Master of Murmurs slowly nodded in assent. I'm one more. For the time being, nothing more to report. In my eyes to meet the advisor's flash Alden a reassuring smile. I think I ran my emotions better than I thought. And I couldn't allow myself to visibly waver at such a crucial time. I know that what is done is done. Now we must focus on the future. In the High Priest's council room. I need him to contact the moderator. Robert is a pious man. It's just a good idea to confide in him. I like to think the devout never lie. I would not obtain a place without, or like his, without cheating a little. I remember that the idea of lying to him came to me in a fleeting moment. To fool him would be a complex task. I'll be needing his support when the time comes. Hope with great stock in men of faith. Very well, Your Majesty, will that be all? Yes, thank you. Spring Day 8, afternoon. Speaking of striking eyes, good lord. Hello. Robert. He's just the guy. He's the Imperial Grace. Yes, thank you for coming, Robert. He's just the guy. Not Alden, but the Master of Murmurs, Robert. Time to sit down. I settled behind my father's opposing desk. I predicted. Behavior made him with a curious brow. I did not to notice it. No beat around the bush. My father, the Emperor, died during the night. I did a pretty good job of keeping that a secret. The shock on his face seemed genuine. But how? Am I just learning about it now? Pray for a soul. I appeased him by waving my hand. I'm going to sit back down. As he looked like he was about to get up. When murdered. For the time being, we're keeping his death a secret. We can investigate without causing any sort of panic. It was the Master of Murmur's idea. See if Fitz will be able to find the assassin more quickly this way. Bringing information, the High Priest slumped into his chair. And I took in my half-truths. Well, I assumed a saddened expression. It's really tragic situation. Very quiet and hiding my mourning. Very hard task for me. I know it's a lot to ask of you. You need to keep it a secret. I want to do everything in my power to uncover the murder. Especially I was scared that he could come after me. Again, I was quite proud of the quivers in my voice. Only I could. My acting seemed to be effective. I saw a spark of compassion light up in his eyes. I understand now why the general was guarding your door like a common soldier. Close expression on my face. I nodded, searching for the right words. The first main reason I summoned you here, is I confide in you and ask you that you pray for my departed father's soul. Of course, Your Majesty. I locked myself in the great temple to dedicate myself to the task. If I still sad, I gave him a tight, genuine smile. Inside, I felt relieved. I should keep him busy enough. He wouldn't be tempted to reveal anything. Now I can move on to the true reason of his presence here. Before that, it saddened me. But I have another favor to ask you. Where's your race? What is it? Well, Alden and I are afraid that all the upstarts across the kingdom rush to the castle and try to usurp the throne. As my father said that the made public. And they agreed. Never forget that my lion sits on the throne, and the Grace of the Four. I'd like to send a letter to the Quadrator, have him support my coronation, as well as reaffirm my legitimacy. I was always silent. I tried to hide my worry behind a veil of sadness. I hated that my plans depended on a single person. I didn't have a choice. Only rulers and high priests could hope to reach their ultimate leader, the Cardinals. I technically wasn't Empress yet. I understand, yes. The kindness of V is only a legitimate child, which should be yours. Instead, I don't know if the Quadrator would approve your advent. Just if you were married, and it would be less inappropriate. My body touched his words. All I did was conceal how irritated I was with this reminder. I knew I would be told such things. I had to prepare myself for it. Obviously, it hadn't been enough. As soon as you, yes. I did my best to find a fitting husband quickly. I will agree that I cannot trust the throne of Lydia to anyone. There are plenty of suitors. But I need some time to study each and every one of them. Something that can be done in just a couple days or even weeks. In the meantime, we do come to lead our country and make sure it doesn't sink into chaos. If a regent were to be appointed, we're afraid he might refuse to give the throne back to me and my husband. It will lead to the whole country in a bloodbath. I was to see another era of murderous plots. During Magnus III's time. Right, Your Grace. We cannot let such tragedy befall us. I'll write the letter to the Quadrator right away. To express support for coordination and explain the situation. Satisfied, let us have relief. I thank you for your support, High Priest Robert. It means a lot to me. Quickly, open one of the test drawers and pulled out a thin, sealed letter. I was waiting for you. I humbly wrote a few words, destined for the Quadrator. Never met. So to help him. Get to know me a little. I was reassure him with faith in the Four. I was thinking that perhaps kindness added to your correspondence. You seemed a little caught off guard, but he smiled instantly, enthusiastically. Your Majesty, it's a great idea. Relieved, gave him the letter in question, thanking him most for support, as over these unprecedented times. I only hoped that he didn't have the audacity to break the seal. Even if it did contain a few cliches of my virtues, I mostly made promises that actually motivate the Quadrator. Alright, here we go, baby. Fuck this. I knew gold made the world go round. Nope. It's known that I've needed support one day. I had used the few resources at my disposal, very closely, and learned something to sustain his reputation. Indeed, I discovered that he is responsible for death. A woman who worked in Meridian's Great Temple. Like something a little more concrete than what I have been told. But he was responsible for negligence. It wasn't a plot to make the crowds go wild. The fact that she was a woman of faith in my favor and explained why I wanted to conceal the incident in the first place. As I'd gathered enough details, we could believe I was an extremely well-informed person. Blackmailing this guy, I didn't want to do that. I didn't have a lot of money. It's been his desire to preserve his reputation, and with improving my knowledge, it'd be enough to convince him. But with a man as powerful as the Quadrator, I wasn't talking about his possible connection to the gods, his actual worldly power. He moved. It's all worth it. The dice had been cast. I only hope for a few things go well. For the fuel of my conquest. The Callidian nobility. Evening. I decided to act. For the time being, I couldn't do anything but wait for the Quadrate's answer. Even if the letter had left that very morning, getting as far away, and I knew I wouldn't hope for an answer for at least 3 days. I had to jump at the bit and act naive. So I was amused with the court, so I could clear my head. Then, pretending nothing was up, eating room was justified for the absence. The more frustrating, doing nothing. Even Marjorie's presence irritated me. Despite her advanced age, as soon as she turned her eyes onto me, she managed to perceive the truth. By taking refuge in the library, and reading a little. In all honesty, I managed to scribble a few words. Thoughts were very far away. My mind was replaying the events of the previous night. Myself again and again. I did the right thing. Your Grace. Forgive me for bothering you during your readings. But we have more news about the witness. When it says, dang. Mystery of. He shouted in his words. Exactly what he was referring to. It was enough to pull me out of my boarding book. I was necessary at the library to make sure we were fully alone. I'm watching for him to continue. I'm listening. What's going on? Oh, here we go. I should have just killed them all. As I had feared, a few gold coins to give the servants wasn't enough. With them, what was her name? Brennan. Yeah, Brennan. I have Alden. We got the Master of Murmurs, we got Robert. Come on. The value of the secret is trying to blackmail us. It was really I hadn't considered. A great shame. I think they were cunning enough for the value of this important secret. Consider so lucky that he still hasn't tried to sell the information to any of our political enemies. I'm sure that Baron of the Voice, for example, paid a good price to get his hands on it. We don't have many options. We don't indeed. Either we pay up or make him shut up at this time. I like to protest. The thing is how my methods failed. I knew full well that offense, take offense, may offer such a drastic solution. On the other side, pay him. He won't be able to definitely blackmail us. In a few days, we'll have the Quadrate's answer. It will be officially announced. His words won't have any value from there on out. So a positivity. But if I'm wary of anything it could demand in a few days, it will tend to be excessively greedy. I'll just lock him up until things go back to normal. With an option, try to rally the guards and other prisoners in the dungeon. We arrest him under false pretenses. We were to kidnap him. Or at least I doubt it would be great optics for us. When he laid it out, that, in all fairness, was obviously a bad idea. The guards from Maine. None of them really appealed to me. He's asking a lot. Like I said, he understood the worth of the secret, unfortunately for us. Not used to the same order of magnitude we are. Some request is still reasonable. Again, I would advise you against it. No, at this stage, turned out to be fatal in the long run. Fine, so time to take a decision before sharing it. Always fun. When past this, we want the cross we don't have a choice. We regretted. Not the second body is the solution we asked for. They said they've just used kindness. Make him regret it. With 8 of those left. And more of these. No. First achievement. Murder solves everything. I hate it here. Unapproved. I'm glad I finally decided to use the methods. I mean, I like it. The right thing, Grace. I'm the master of murmurs of your decision. Sure, everything is done with the most discretion. I hope so. If it came to be known that I'm assassinating my subjects, that wouldn't be the best advertisement of my rule. Worry not. Consider problem solved. Funny when you all then. No an answer. I found once more before exiting the room with attitude as professional as ever. No, with my doubts. Ring 8, night. Finally, when the master of murmurs knocked on my door to inform me of the evaluation of the situation, at the late hour, I hadn't managed to close my eyes yet. I anxiously waited to hear about the assassination. I knew well that these methods were common in murky waters, in which I now swam. The first time, it was my first time, to take that feeling that there were so many variables that could turn against me. Mr. Morris took his time to start talking, and lost patience. Bad go. Well, they say we reached our goal. The blackmailer is dead. I knew it. Fortunately, he had the foresight to bring up reinforcements, jumped on our agents. Managed to overcome them and eliminate all witnesses. Those 2 worthy men in the fight. Relieved that the whole ordeal is over, as with Master Murmurs. For that card, have to be greedy. It would be far easier, and try to take advantage of the situation. Truly sorry for your men. Go ceremony in your honor when this is all over. Murray shook his head with a melancholic smile. Oh, your majesty. It was from the men who lived in the shadows. But they'd have hated a public remembrance. On that note, if you'll allow me, I have many tasks left to accomplish. Of course. He bowed, and then I didn't read, and now it's the morning. Grace, this is a little premature. You should become Empress. Need to manage the kingdom's policies. I'd like to make sure you're ready for such a task. One can always learn more. Fuck. As you already know, these policies influence how your subjects or otherwise view you. Lots of the resources we have available to us, and I've been using them all like an idiot. It's the taxes for the people and the nobility. We have guessed the higher they are, the less heavy it will be. Faster, coffers will fill up. And many other things, far more subtle. Examples, you can decide to open our trade borders. Try to open our borders. But what a trade our borders should be, which affects the economy we like to focus on. Let's consider how to protect themselves from the neighborhood. From our neighbor. God, fucking damn it. We must also consider how to protect ourselves from our neighbors, especially bring in mind Vargas's warlike inclinations. Maintaining an army is very, very expensive. Such as diplomacy may offer better results in the long run. And finally, we have to manage the priests. The influence on the people is immense. And it obstructs all of the nation. Offering is made to them, never wasted. We set up regular periods of time, which we collect earnings. But there will be a short delay for the consequences of any change we make be seen. So it alternates with phases of gameplay, triggered by 2 scenes. In these phases, we'll be able, among other things, to modify your kingdom's general policies. We will distribute at the end of the gameplay phase. Is it clearer now? No, I get it. Yes, even though it's all very theoretical. It's true, but the best way to approach the subject in a concrete manner is to look into it yourself. We'll only be doing this work with my coordination. I try my hand at it now. The things I'd like to change are my father's policies. I want people to be happy. Oh, my money. It makes the people happy. Okay. Army is reduced, so people to trained. And there's soldiers. Let's get more soldiers. We send a delegation to the neighboring countries. I think we should go all in on diplomacy. Lessen the army. Is there levied? Products traded between countries? There's really go with their yeah. Anyway, money will flow endlessly. I'm thinking this. And this is okay. Bottom we're saying is 0. That's fine. It's going up, legend's going up, army's going up. Ability very high, people are going up. Let's do it. Most excellent to me. Yay! Grace. One had barely risen. I heard a kerfuffle at the door. I immediately recognized Robert's voice. I've grown. I really slipped on my dress. I was presentable before opening the door. I forget what's going on. I mean, unusual if possible. I was burning up with excitement. I had a solid guess as to what it was about. I watered her. He answered Your Majesty. Nervous, he handed me 2 letters, bearing the recognizable seal of His Holiness. The name's written on them. Don't dare open them, Your Highness. I waited. I looked at 2 pieces of paper. I wrote to seal my future. It seemed official. No one was explicitly for my eyes only. I would like to be alone with them both. Clearly, it had given Robert all he had not to look at the wax seal, the official letter. He now stared at me impatiently. I was sure as I grabbed the paper cutter over the correspondence. I began to beat so fast. I had the impression everyone in the room could hear it. The games of Tyrnfell, daughter of Magnus of Tyrnfell, the fierce, ruler of Calidia. The first spoken recognizes you as the legitimate heir to the crown. Called Calidia. By virtue of your blood, and despite your gender. By this decree, and may the word of the gods, may your governance be respected by all the just and the pious. May your rule prosper and never stray from the forced faith. I can read that. An M or an R? His handwriting is like mine, like half cursive. Vermer. A treasure by the grace of the poor. Shaking so hard, I felt my legs give in. I just done the best so I didn't fall. I've done everything in my power. When the moment happened, it was upon me. I was engulfed by all the emotions I had accumulated in the past week. Words seemed to understand me. If I were to leave me a few long seconds, I could take in the Quadrate's words. Finally spoke up. Marvelous, Your Majesty. You know the poor would acknowledge your legitimacy. Most timidly, I nodded and tried to recover my usual composure. Quadrate's support, my coordination, was sure to happen. I didn't mean I could rid my enemies, contenders, and let my guard down yet. Yes, it's time for everyone to know the truth. For the nobles and the guys let dawn. Where are the pigeons? We kind of just abandoned the pigeons, huh? We're like, we need you. We're gonna be the best A plus, and then we just like abandon them in the cities and started treating them like pests. That's messed up to the pigeons. He nodded, a grave expression on his face. Yes, you can't wait any longer. So your father's death can't be kept indefinitely in any case. It's true that his absence has been going on for a while, and a possible illness worried the people just as much as possible death. Especially that the letters hadn't taken too long to arrive. I didn't even see what day it was. I'll be there. Finish getting ready. Your Majesty, I'll have the bells rung. It's the early time. I don't suppose we can gather anyone in less than an hour. I approved with a polite nod. And soon I watched him leave and close the door. On my own, I collapsed on the bed and myself float. With a pure childish joy, I read the Quadrate's letter over and over again. I knew I had plenty of challenges ahead of me. It was my first victory against traditions, and I intended to savor it for as long as I could. Maybe most of the best what I said of the second letter, which is just to me personally. It's just a giant middle finger, you faggot. The games of Tyrnfell, be aware that your threats cannot shake the faith that the believers have in me. I only wish to preserve them from potentially bloody conflicts as guided by decision to be offended by your manipulated lies. Support you despite them. Keep in mind, nonetheless, I don't appreciate these methods. And if you have made yourself a dangerous enemy, you cannot defy the war with impunity. Here was a sign, held the parchment over a candle, and never to catch fire before throwing into the cold fireplace. I expected a reaction of the sort. Or not to leave behind any trace of my methods, any more traces of my methods than necessary. Needless to say, I didn't regret a thing. Even if he acted with concern, I believe that my threats had helped sway him. Now it was the court I had to sway. This wasn't going to be an easy task. I was the 18th. Jesus. Afternoon. You do not overexert yourself. Spending your days locked up in this office. Get out of it with your head. Take a walk with this old lady. You're also really pretty. The door opened. Although I hadn't heard Marjorie come over to me, surprised at her perfume, she applied too liberally and filled the room. I felt nostalgic for a moment. I wondered what she seemed to suggest. With your pleasure. I was overwhelmed. Invitations, solicitations, promises. Spend 3 days flattering Lydian nobility. I would assure you that nothing would interfere with the coronation in 3 weeks' time. There's not a lot to do. Now, perhaps you could fool everyone else. And I know you're far from being an old lady, Marjorie. Her reply made her laugh, forced a joyous sound, but bellied what I just said. Oh, I still have the same quick wit as when I was 20, but I'm afraid my whining bones disagree with you, sweetheart. I might have been cruel. You broke my poor heart when you didn't let me in a secret. I willed down with a sigh and closed the inkwell. Its content would not dry out. Tell me many things. And even if I had grown stronger in her some areas, it was obvious that she still used guilt like no one else. Don't I know the feeling? It made me feel bad for hiding my father's death from her. But well, I didn't have a choice. The mission had to be disclosed to as few people as possible. I know, sweetheart. I would have liked to be there for you. Those few days mustn't have been easy. No, nor indeed. Damn. As promised, I quietly walked by Marjorie's side through the garden. Though he couldn't take one step to serve an oath, the noble offered me their condolences. Fair to pretend to be sad. I know your father was a flawed man. She paused. At me. As she seemed hesitant to say something. They were intrigued. Much contempt in her voice as she spoke of his flaws. She obviously knew something about him. Maybe I probably didn't. No matter what anyone else says, he was your family, your blood. You shouldn't hate him like that. Healthy. Particularly now that he's dead. Oh, I still dislike many people that are dead, don't worry. In a sober tone, I get nothing more from her. It was not today. I didn't insist. Myself once again, my own indignity. Nah, that's too easy. I can't just die and expect others. No, expect that my mistakes will be forgiven. That's if you chose to die. And so, change anything. Decided, and I decided to choose a subject. I had to listen to another lecture about the importance of family bonds. Just speaking of forgiveness, I need your help. Which she found, while she kept walking calm in the flower beds. I would like it. You gave me the air castle. An old dilapidated fortress with 4. Beginning to admire some insects that were flying around the planters, I hesitated for a second. In the fortress, goodbye Aram's loyalty. I had to be with a deep hatred for them. I don't like lying to her, even on the risk that she refused my request. What choice is this? 7 or 6? Just tell her. I need it. I'm gonna give it back to the prom. Don't hear my words. Patrick was trembling with anger. I'm gonna give it back to those vile traitors. And the men Oh, how many men died storming it? You know what this fortress cost me? I should react the way. Now the war had ended, but 20 years ago. What were painful memories of it? Yes, I know all that. It all took place before my birth. It's time we move forward and reconcile with Faram. Lest we repeat the mistakes of the past. No more another Faram revolt under my rule. I need the support for my coronation. Support. I need Fire Castle. Gone. You know just as well as that I do that. Oh. You know just as well as I do that it's only ruined now. Pile of rubble. Left to be barren land. Nothing more than a symbol. Reeled and grumbled for a few long moments. It was worse to concede a point, even if it cost her. What do you want, but believe me. From Empress. I'll call in a favor. Thank you, Marjorie. I know I can count on you. I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding. Knowing the affection Marjorie held for me, I knew that I'd end up losing her. But as I had a meeting with Madame Air 4 days, I didn't have a lot of room for errors. There was an issue weighing on my heart. I needed to walk with the rest of my steps. Again in a few minutes, look for its problems and plots. And now it's the 22nd. Jesus. This was the first time ever meeting Theodore of Faram. I heard him described as cold and distant man. I didn't expect him to be so glacial. I wanted him to. The alignment replied to my greeting. As courtesy demanded. The air between us was deafening. Most of this staring at me. Passive. I didn't so much as good morning or nice to meet you. Well, I had to keep smiling, not to lose face. The better thing to do than engage the staring contest. Consequently, I swallowed my pride and gestured to one of the chairs on the staff table. A large map of Lydia had been laid out. My name is retired from the long trip. Please sit down. I was gonna stay standing there. He didn't finally sit down without another word. I could see not too far from him. Like I said in my letter, I'd like for the Ernfell and the Faram to reconcile. Between our two families have lasted long enough, and imagine your sudden desire to make peace and nothing to do with the upcoming coronation. Maliet, eating out of your hand. Support her will never support you. You do very much need us. Coming in as he was from a lineage, somewhat barbaric reputation, I've done a fairly clever analysis situation. And what that's taught me. Your much need is strong. Should I remind you of support of the order? Like extension the four. People will follow me. Well, that said, I do wish for my coronation to go as smoothly as possible. And there's my rule as well. We can avoid bloodshed altogether if possible. And I fear that the ancestral anonymity between our two families might lead us to just that. Neither you nor I were born when the Moran revolt took place. It us to decide if we want to perpetuate the cycle of conflict, or if we want to build something new. He took on a thoughtful expression and observed me with renewed interest. Easy for you to forget. I was out of the victors. I've been crushing your resentment for 20 years. Perhaps it would be easier for you to forget as well. Feeling what has been honoring you for so long. Even if we were inclined to consider your offer for reconciliation, like we trust you, I'll give you a history lesson. That revolt didn't happen for nothing. following me exactly where I was leading. It took me some effort to repress a smile. Keep this like sentence. First, I'm not the same person as my father or my grandfather. My parents trust me as a result of their actions. And secondly, I'm ready to make a gesture of goodwill. If the Faram are ready to make one as well. I'm listening. You overless swore my side to the throne. To return to your family. For a castle citadel, and the lands that go with it. This time, I see with the truest surprise in his eyes. I hand him the deed. I take time to prepare. And it was confiscated after the revolt. It's located at a strategic crossroads between Turnfell and Mariette, I think. I thought it would be a strong gesture to return it to you, but also quite a simple trust. Relenting over a signed pledge, Theodore looked at me once more. Defiance this time. No doubt that my family will appreciate the gesture. What are you asking my victory? When he continued, his voice cold. As for me, and that makes sense. You're one of those politicians ready to use every dirty trick in the book. I'll give you what you want. I wanted? Oh. I had been warned. The rebel heir, snake. I led to the Modeliette. I was seeing it with my own eyes. But yes, indeed. We'll accept your offer to support your coronation. And like you, stick to our word. You should know you're not fooling me. Return to the palace to make sure you don't stab us in the back as soon as you've achieved your goals. In the end, that was the situation, or indeed my character, wasn't as clever as I thought. I was ambitious, no denying that. Not shy about it either. My desire to make peace was just there. Stay at the castle if you wish. So welcome here at any time. But you'll get eaten alive by the court. You always speak your mind so plainly, my lord. You should. Descendingly. Good God. We're getting up. I'm very capable of defending myself, Majesty. I just chose not to use the same venom as you do. That doesn't mean I don't know how to protect myself from this thing. No, I don't like being called snake. And even if it was unpleasant to be treated with such hostility by someone whom I had never done anything wrong. Got what I wanted. I didn't wish to risk making him change his mind, starting an argument. I will tell. I do hope you'll change your mind about me. And as long as the From hold their end of the bargain, feel free to think whatever you like. You say that as if you're doing me a favor, Your Grace. You and Empresses can have dominion over people's thoughts. When it came from saying the last word, the from the sparring, immediately turned to seal, slammed the door. Furious, engaging deeply in the exercise when Alden walked in. I looked to a Theodore from Faram. I showed with a sigh. It was alright. Because the Faram should consider my coronation. For my coronation. That's all that matters. How about you? You just miss alone? He's suspected. He's not inclined to support you. Apparently, he and his brother fear that. Lyda, I will learn how to say it at some point. Will become second. Hysteria? In my eyes to the sky, not holding my exasperation at any worth, as if there were enough of a woman with empire for us, a matriarchy. Really convince them not to openly oppose the coronation. As you suggested, like the Civil War would be good for business. That you were easy to manipulate. Oh wow. Is that enough? Yes and no. What are they thought? This opportunity to claim the position as treasurer. GamesRHard, look at him go. He believes you're competent. This is the only way to ensure the country stays on the right track. And that the voiders' economical interests are preserved. Upset, open her lip, pondering the implications of such a nomination. Yet I've sent my way at every council meeting. No valid reason for me to refuse him. Privilege either. Imagine before asking for the position. In the current treasurer to retire. That's correct. Perhaps by the beachside is waiting for him. And now he can't wait to be gone. Which would have a choice then? Some now and tomorrow. I pretend to be the naive genuine? Idiot. He was happy to let him take on big responsibilities. Heavily, Alan stepped toward me. A discreetly amused smile. You sure you'll manage? Manage? I'm the easily influenced idiot. I sighed, giving him a reassuring smile. It would not be fun having tea with such a conservative man. There's nothing surmountable about it. But don't worry about me. I'll play time when I need to. I'm a whole lot appearing less dangerous than I really am. You'll be able to pretend once. I have some nasty surprises down the line, however. He nodded, with more pride in his eyes. I trust you then. Spring, day 25. Done. Your Grace. News of your nomination to the throne is spread quickly. Leave a letter addressed to you. Queen Mava? Victoria. Our respects. Empress of Lydia. I wish to write to you so I can congratulate you on your recent nomination to the throne, as well as offer my condolences for your father's death. It's new power that heavy responsibility. I have been told that you are capable. I know that Lydia is in good hands. Lydia and Etheria have always maintained solid diplomatic relations. I hope that they will continue, nay, prosper under your rule. Until now, the matriarchs have always been opposed to non-commercial negotiations. Your nomination has made them curious. Not too curious, I hope. We dare to believe, in your presence, my emissaries and myself, what seems to be subject to the patronizing and the station. Your predecessors are veritably displayed. I made my country's past rulers so wary of future interactions. Thoughts whisper to me that your ascension to the throne signals the dawn of a new era for the continent. Therefore, I wish to support you as much as I can. With the matriarch's assent, I shall decide to mandate an emissary whose role it is to liaise between our two nations. Her name is Aja Sabi. She is an exceptional woman who, I hope, will be welcomed into your place as she deserves. Palace. She deserves. All my sympathy. Mava, Queen of Etheria. Wonderful news. I have the many allies possible during my rule. Indeed, diplomacy is a delicate art. It's fundamental for Lydia's prosperity. We need to woo the neighboring kingdoms and assure their goodwill towards us. This is not available in the demo. Dang it! I'll talk about that later. For now, I have a coronation to organize. Spring, day 36, afternoon. What are your sleeves? Did we just take the pillows. The girl is bad. The big dad finally come. I'm nervous. I paced my bedroom while checking my hair and outfit the upteenth time. I did not check your outfit enough, girl. What is this? As much as I love, like... No, I don't think I do. I was gonna say I love the beating. I don't. The necklace is nice. I think that's about it. I like the color on you. No, it was easy as per usual. I was supposed to display poise, elegance, and grandeur, while remaining humble. Right then. The fact that, despite all that, I felt ready and dignified, and only waited to hear from Alexander, who would escort me. My father wasn't in a state to do so. That's way back. What is happening with the elbow? I'm living for the way his outfit looks. His passing by at an infuriatingly slow pace. I finally knocked and walked to my room in his ceremonial attire. Armed with a pompous cape, I went with it. It didn't suit him. It was a smile. I saw him squeeze into it. Ready, Your Grace? Most timidly, I nodded. We politely bowed and let me pass in front of him. I followed suit, respectfully walking one step behind. Your Grace. My name is de Taranfell, Queen of Aldia, Duchess of Taranfell, Lady Vermont. Blessed by Horrell. How can Vermont? Closing my eyes to savor this title. I was hearing for the last time. The herald would announce me next, the Empress of Caladia. Excuse me, you're just gonna show me the man with wonderful hair accessories? And you're not gonna tell me the name? Okay. Lord. I remember having ever seen the throne room in this packed. Clearly, I would told the entire castle had gathered here. It was an exaggeration. To try to hide my nervousness, or to slow pace, and held high, eyes leveled at the throne. Curiosity slowly got the better of me. I tried to remain as dignified as I could, and my gaze wandered discreetly, in search of familiar faces. All then, of course, stood right next to my throne. Face passive, bright enough, I could see the pride reflected in them. Robert was there too, a huge crown already in his hands. Kind of a nice crown, not gonna lie. I like the more subtle crowns. It was very best to appear as posing as his function required him to be. In the noble section, I recognized Leon of Boulder, and his family. That's Leon? Sick. The other nobles were vaguely familiar to me. I was surprised to spot a Theodore, laying against a pillar. Blooming aura seemed to hold people at bay. That was so that it wasn't drowning in unknown faces. I passed by Marjorie gave me a smile. I felt the perfume reach me, cooling me despite its loud scent. Finally, at the last steps before me, I suddenly realized I didn't hear R's hubbub anymore. Instead, my heart's beating in my temples. Harmoniously, not the foot of the throne. I was still forbidden to me. Soon I had cause to praise whomever had the brilliant idea to fall cushion under my knees. The blessing proceeded at an infuriatingly slow pace. Listen to them. I only have an ear. I still displayed from a serious, focused face. Honor the solemnity of the ceremony. The day before, Robert had asked me if I wanted to celebrate the tradition in the name of one of my predecessors. I'd rather start my own dynasty. Ooh. Start our own dynasty. The reign name would be Melisandre II. No. This is the importance of traditions. I was much too proud of who I was and my name, my identity. I would care with pride for as long as I would rule. I know this would not, and I knew they would be ending soon. Hopefully, it seemed to grow livelier. Passing second, the crowd and Robert's voice vibrated with renewed excitement. The moment came. With my eyes, I braced myself with the weight of the surprisingly large crowd. I delicately placed upon my head. Rise up. James the First. Eternfell, Empress of Helida. First of her name. She was Eternfell, Lady of Vermont, by the four and blessed by Horror. Well, we have to say that every time. To bow no longer, from this day until your death. In the name of the gods, and trust that you will. I trust you with the charge of guiding your subjects and making Lydia shine bright for decades to come. Oh. I can't really see it under the hair. But into the half up one. Sorry. Leia rose, trying to sit on the throne that was meant for me. I opened my eyes to look at the crowd. No one cried. Quiet, and almost religious silence settled in for a few seconds. Long live Empress Games the First! And then his voice was sounded next to me. All aloud. It shattered the almost dreamlike moment. Tears rose from all sides at the spectacular chaos. Who are you with the beautiful earrings? Oh my goodness. I don't like this. I'm loving your earrings, girly. The general enthusiasm was contagious. The was smiling, waved to the crowd, a bit too much vigor. 36 evening. I'm modified to match the upcoming illustration. It was a full swing. And if I was still beaming, I was still beaming. My head was starting to hurt from the incessant patience of people willing to pay their respects. It emptied its glass into the flower pot. No one serves to wait for Jesus said. Maybe I had had too much wine. Being honest, I don't remember how many times my glass had been refilled. Nothing I knew. I never see it empty. Marjorie was probably right about it. On Marjorie. We're not allowed to have a bit of fun. It isn't the coronation day after all. She shook her head with a tender smile. I knew that was a coronation day, sweetheart. People might celebrate better than others. No one was watching you and judging you. Right, and I knew it. I let myself relax, perhaps a bit too much. Put away with my enthusiasm. My husband didn't make without giving a deep sigh of despair. Well, I didn't come here to cuddle you. I know you're pretty capable of managing the situation. I want to officially congratulate you. No one deserves to handle more than you. You made a credible Empress. Grace spoke with pride and affection. Oh, my heart melted under her praise. Opinion had always mattered a lot to me. I told myself to go back to the little girl I once was. I always sought her approval. It's a different instant. Finally, I let myself gently hug her. She not to spill my gloss on her in the process. Thank you, Marjorie, for everything. She kindly stroked my hair. Didn't embrace for a few moments. Long enough to regain control of my emotions. She was bending me to cry. Only patted my back, doing my duties, and let go of her. Her face now wearing a more neutral expression. Oh, sweetheart, I won't keep you any longer. Look, he wanted to talk to you. She's right. They tried to hide it. Nick was so nearby, waiting for the opportunity to pounce on me as soon as I'd be free. God, you're so cute. It's the Marcus young woman I've never seen before. And look at the pretty dreadlocks she's sported. They're written with small gold jewels in her background. Magnificent coronation, Your Grace. Melodious accent convinced me. I was right. Blushed her a courteous smile. Thank you. Lady Aja, are you not? Surprised for a second, and her face lit up. How flattering recognized me before I could even introduce myself. I don't know who spoke to me. I hope they said good things. Gave me a little laugh. Brush off this pleasantry. I knew how much deeper meaning. After all, he had heard a lot about her. The Queen of Meva. I warmly recommended her. And Robert. I tried to paint her as an ungodly heathen, until just the minute she set foot in the capital. Of course, he was showering you with praise. And I would return her kindness, and tell you how fantastic Meva is. She'll be a formidable ally. Really, wait, I'm talking about a ruler. Maybe cork my eyebrow. But I didn't mention it. After all, Sharian customs are quite different from ours, and she's the queen and none of my concern. We shouldn't use the same casual tone. I'm talking about lady and nobility. We no issue. Faith, Lydia, you're liking Lady Aja. Fortunately, that's what happened this time of your beautiful lands. To taste your many specialties. For the question, maybe mature. Made me smile, but didn't reach her eyes. It made me see that her answer, a elegant way of saying, I speak ill of the place without lying. Now that it was my castle, my nation, upset me a little. But I be mad at her, finding the place with Graham. My father never had a keen eye for interior design. I was about to ask her more futile questions. Robert stepped to the space between us. Mr. was overtly rude. This allowed him to act in the manner. Free from Aja doesn't know what he had to say. Seriously, please forgive me for interrupting. I must speak through a topic of the utmost importance. I really get the true look he gave Aja. What is the message and gratefully curtsied? Go up with a fresh air in your gardens. You'll excuse me, Your Majesty. I mentally took note of where to find her. I wanted to continue the conversation. I met her in lieu of goodbye. My attention on Robert. Knowing what some trepidation. Something bad had happened. What's going on? Don't worry about saying that before your night. No, I assure you were taking my warning about the Thorian diplomat seriously. I don't find her trustworthy at all. But all aside, quite distressing to see him go to such trouble. I to interrupt my conversation with a foreign dignitary. She was comforted she wasn't inviting me to dance naked, the fee of the Saint Goddess Sif. I said that to play different tone wouldn't lighten the mood. She looked even more upset. Things issued hard. Full are insidious. Seemed nice, you laid your guard down. But I didn't realize you fell into the trap of which it was too late. I have the patience to hear more of this. Next dependent expression. in the form was sincere. Truly offended. But if allowed in the cause, would avoid anyone implying that our conversation were unsteady. I was easily influenced, but given the importance of the order, then Lydia. Then emerged anger. I gave Robert a withering look. You believe my faith? He was so easily shaken, High Priest. In back, he immediately softened, apologized profusely. I'd like to turn. I'm taking note of your words, and I promise I'll be careful. You must also understand that we cannot say such things for a guest, and not in public. Have serious diplomatic consequences. Carol once more would say a word, and politely said, I understand your grace. First time to pass before us. Before he turned away, he was thinking about the choice he had to make. First time in the night, ropes below. Don't get him to talk to me. I was afraid of getting caught and followed with a sense of conversation. I knew that was said talk to. Ooh. Mr. Grumpy. The hardest part. There was a nonchalant leaning against the wall, the most decorated corner of the throne room. One of the trendiest walls of Faye. I related ugly him. I didn't dare get close. I could understand them. Grumpy's face wasn't inviting to chat. It reminded me to chat with him either. Roger had reminded me. In the parties weren't meant for my own enjoyment. Typical tools for a political game. I just shaped the bonds. My bonds with the Baram. Anymore. The show with the court. The enmity, now in the past. Of the thoughts. He didn't seem to see me as I leaned back in the cool marble wall right next to him. The party isn't to your liking, Lord of Baram. I was surprised he didn't show it. He raised his eyes to me mine, first scanning me from head to toe. Particularly fond of the exquisite vanity, no. There was certainly a take of things, but I didn't give the moment to react. We were thoughtful as I considered what to say, how to communicate to someone this closed off. It had struck me. We had the two marble walls floating through the air. Immediately straightened up. Invite me to dance. Was it worth it? I only see his on face. In fact, he seemed so shocked that his scowling gnome-like mask disappeared. He looked surprisingly fragile. Beg your pardon? You said it yourself, in the middle of the show. You could start everything. I see that you're not willing to chit-chat. The people are watching us. Neither you nor I want the court to think Brown and Faram are still at odds. Shall we dance? That is, unless you don't want to dance, of course. Hesitated. Let's comment and take him off. And he rarely dusted off his jacket. I know how to dance. I'm aware of it. And leave me a choice. I guess it's as if I just accepted his invitation. I might have suspicion. As if simply touching him would get going to burn him. My friend took it and led me a bit further to the center of the room, where the guests were already dancing. I was surprised, and his fingers were pleasantly warm. The air was so cold, I would have expected it was going to be freezing. Like that of a devilish creature. Out of curiosity, as much as out of friends, we were given much more room than necessary. People stepped aside. They left the floor to observe us. I asked the dancer were alright. Ordinary. I'm nervous by myself. I tried to Put my head high and back straight, as dignified as possible. Feeling very tense. Someone who threw a tantrum when invited to dance. Of course he'd felt it, and his smiles, safe for once. But he had fun teasing me. And me grumble. Sleep properly, William. The end of a laugh. While he waited for the right measure, he had to dance. With surprising fluidity. What was it like? He knew how to dance. Pretty well even. He danced badly. Positioned hand. Too high. Not firmly enough to properly lead me. He just made the moves with ease. Good guide. He was super precise and gracious. On the one hand, we're glad that everything had worked out. On the other hand, for me a little to acknowledge his merits. A genuine woman. But I knew I must not let my pride dictate my behavior. We had straightened our balance after all. Well, I said you were bragging. You're an excellent dancer indeed, Theodore. Someone seemed to catch him off guard. I watched my invitation to the dance ad. Some felt for his hand. It was lost rhythm he had led us to so far. Turn up yourself. That was the best I'd get out of him. I smiled while he led me into a slightly stiff whirl. Never someone in mouths until the last measure played. And they separated, elegant curtsy, under scattered applause. Well, I thank you for that moment, Theodore. I won't keep you busy any longer. I see having quite some success. In my eye, I glanced at the young ladies gathered with their fans while literally ogling Laura Faram. Perhaps they had more respect for etiquette than I did. None of them dared accost him when they asked to dance. Still, his side glared at me, and they held him responsible for the sudden attention he was receiving. I hopelessly abandoned him to his admirers. Surprised to see him play the prettiest gentleman after all, while some polite comments. Clearly, I was the one whom he refused to make such an effort. 36. We're just skipping around. Grace. It's really no. Ask. Do the rule. Listen to your such petitions. I've accumulated as your father said, even before. You were fond of that duty. You're in crown. You must dedicate them the fair share of your time. This is especially important. The other advisors and myself aren't used to lodging petitions. Why does that require your attention? Not for the council's agenda. Oh yeah, I need you to save this. Wait it. New to me. I'll say no further explanations. Matters that require your formal judgment, whether they pertain to trials or requests, other various issues. I advise them myself, usually tasked with submitting them. But we may also pass on requests coming directly from your subjects. 102 stacks. Affairs and current affairs. Such affairs must be attended to as soon as possible. Write an exclamation mark to the stack for more clarity. On all urgent affairs haven't been dealt with. I won't give you any current affairs. And not to distract you, futile matters. Everything that requires your input. Petitions may necessitate the mobilization of certain resources. But don't forget, you can offer opportunities. Good decisions turn out to be quite lucrative. Finally, keep in mind that improving the conditions of people will ensure their affection for you. And in the long run. Long run? Hello, vocal therapy. Where are you? Where'd you go? You'll contribute to the realms of prosperity. Clear. Yes. Perfect. Just you deal with one of mine first. The issue has been on my mind as well. No matter how much the items on the table, handing me a sealed parchment roll. There you are. And I'll let you study it on your own. Go over your business. Feel free to look through more of them. You're familiar with the process. Be informed of the outcome in due time. Even if the crown is yours, be wary of your brothers. For some, an illegitimate son is better than a woman. You wouldn't want the nobility to use this excuse, then get rid of you the first chance to get. The best for murmurs to investigate them. At the moment, it seems most of them live in a modest life, across from their servants. Simple as minds that use sway. At least you haven't established any bond with them. It means that nothing will stop them from betraying you. It's just that with issue in a permanent way. This is your risk. My Lily's methods. Here to a war coup. And image myself to end up like that. Those have no other thing to me. I refuse to let paranoia get the best of me. I'm assassinated. But I do recognize my half brothers are a threat. I wish to keep an eye on them. Satisfies each of them. Decide how to react. They're playing as me. Just to come down like my father. I know we're driving his feral violence. Wow. I take the opposite approach. I'm happy. I'm sure that they don't have a desire to take my title from me, cause me harm. I'll ask them what they want. I must satisfy the wishes. Maybe they're aware of my role as their patron. I think I go for this. Grace, I'll supervise in place. Why they haven't noticed anything suspicious. Like this report, I decided to set up increased surveillance around Iron Villas. We used to be having a fling with the daughter of the local lord. And Yashin Ordinar. He is at the court of Veros. He is at the Count of Veros court. He often has situations about evolution. Some murmurs. Your Grace, as you know, tradition requires that the Emperor have an impressive mausoleum built in their memory. There's a gigantic statue of the likeness of one in their tomb. Your father's body is currently in a coffin. A great temple, so that pilgrims can pay and come pray over him. High time to build him a tomb befitting his glory. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, my father close to my heart. I won't want to post tradition. The construction of a magnificent mausoleum in his honor. We were visiting it. Let's actually do this. No. I was saying same as that choice. I'm an idiot. You're the Emperor, and that was elected is what they can do. They cannot be ignored. Those favors toward the royal family have strengthened. The mausoleum is not particularly striking. No one has a bad word to say about it either. do one more. Morning, Grace. No support. Hey, liberty and writing. The borders that separate us. We will take no offense. Unless my father, the great Duke Edgar de Valerius, recently died. His rest in peace. Only direct heir. I would normally receive his titles and lands. My family decided otherwise. I'm not married. Dear cousins. And there must be a patriarch of the family. The patriarch of the family runs smoothly. The settled possessions are all they care about. They have no use for me. I can protect what's mine from the shenanigans. To the throne despite criticism is an aversion to me. I have the liberty to ask you for your help today. Know that Calidius, like most of my country, is limited. The animosity between our two nations. No doubt, and you're a resourceful woman who will be able to offer me valuable advice. Involve myself? Oh, not involve myself on my behalf. Very respectful, with my sincere friendship. Lady Alma. Let's just do this. Curious, I think we wish to success. It seems a mess. Oh, a missive because of the managed to reach His Majesty. For myself, the palace, defend my cause, as there was no one to contest, just accepted. I was able to recover the title and the lands that were rightfully mine. My cousins have now become very kind and always grudge you a few favors. I was able to protect my inheritance as my late father wished. In gratitude, I'm sending you a marble. I hope it will help you, especially Lady Alma. Oh, yeah, yes, we're done. Day 9. I feel glad to be Empress now. I expected not a single moment to myself since I was coronated. There have been an endless and continuous stream of people paying their respects to me, and of more or less futile issues to resolve. Even I was happy to finally be able to exercise my power legitimately. I felt like I needed a break. I have to take care of the most urgent matters, getting a moment to relax in. Theodore. Moaning in. Most appreciated. Serene atmosphere of this place. Really ideal spot for a break. Well, as long as I didn't get tangled up books of history. Myself, I was capable of falling into my trap. Here's midnight taking notes. It was best if I restrained myself picking novels and poems. Books of other sorts were scarce. Anyway, I let my thoughts run free. Well, after all, who else I had last read? A love story. It had been too long. I had last read a novel with passion and intrigue. The Rose of Tarrenfell. So I devoured the book of my younger years. My age forced me into more academic pursuits. I missed it all. I gave my upcoming read, put me in a good mood. Left in my time to spot Theodore, both in a book. Ever since we had met, every time we faced each other, I felt this gaze on me, and mere severity. If he was GamesRHard himself coming to judge me, and decide my spot in the heaven. In fact, I've gotten so used to saying it, his dour and scowling face. Surprise to find him looking quite serene. In truth, speeches were picked up in sternness. He He was rather elegant. Once, his knees. I didn't have the heart to bother him. I come there myself, switched his quiet, I decided to leave him alone. I was out of the world. I closed the door behind me. I heard the blasted thing creak, as I just opened the hatch to hell. When I was reading, Theodore looked at the nose of his book and stared at me, expression immediately turned into a frown. Hello, Grace. Back a sigh, bursting with a polite smile. Hello, my lord of Faram. I was spotted, and he agreed to me. We had a little sane chat. I knew we had found an agreement. Don't worry of Faram's intentions, and as regarding my throne, I prefer to learn a bit more about him. But I had fascinated him. Offer a tough conversation. The letters engraved in the leather from where I stood. What is this book you're so deep into? Rope closed the book, placed it on his knees such a way so they couldn't read the title. None of your business. I knew it was exasperating. I just gave him a teasing smile. Oh, you're by chance reading an indecent book? I think Mike was just I was joking. Quite badly sat upright, his expression upset. Very weird to suggest such a thing. Very improper for you. That's a little sense of humor. The humor is perfectly intact. You're questioning my etiquette? I never said anything of the sort. What if I did? I took a breath and held back the scathing retort tried to escape my lips. After all, I was the one who started the conversation to smooth our relationship. Even if I have paid good money to see him lose, that superiorness of expression he liked to display. In any case, it makes sense that you stole things to learn. I'm ready for this. Then nonchalantly, almost sympathetically. I could tell if he was trying to be friendly. It was yet another elaborate provocation. In case he hadn't managed to rile me up. Return? Heard me. Acting as if your powerful heir can carry the entire nation on his shoulders. Not a fool. You've been kept away from the court for afterlife. Truth. The slightest clue you must have gotten yourself into. What a privileged life, without many difficulties. Away from the plots and issues of kingdom. My father said, take the first chance you had to steal this crown like a vulture. The throne, still warm when you decided to sit on it. You're wrong the last point. I could tolerate this half-baked stuff any longer. Be careful with your words, Theodore. You're getting dangerously close to royal treason. My father was assassinated abruptly. I had the luxury to hesitate, and I was only fulfilling my duties. I was stealing aside. Stay firm, and make sure not to raise your voice too much. You would only have discredited me. My father was assassinated because he was greedy for power. Cruel. It was over time. I made too many enemies to count. It was flesh and blood. I could possibly convince you that you're not like him. That you're truly acting out of duty. What's the crux of the issue? Than my predecessor. The idea of him made me nauseous. Madam Elise, I really doubt that. Not the case. Villains would have you thrown in prison on the spot. You're not a cell right now. It'd be enough to demonstrate the difference between my father and I. But I imagine it'd be hard for you to believe me, whatever I say. It's extremely difficult, possible, because someone who's already formed an opinion changes their mind. I'm disappointed in you. That you're an educated man. That you're backwards enough to judge me. The blood that flows through my veins within all my actions. As for my privileged life, I didn't know about it. I never met a woman in a world ruled by men. An empress and world of kings. I beloved son, for birth, to become the head of your family. On the other hand, away from my birthright, I had to fight a tiny sliver of power. And you dare tell me I'm privileged? I managed to keep my composure. Anger, sarcasm vibrated powerfully in my voice, listening to shut him up. But you're feeling threatened by my rule. If this can make you feel better. Right now, I don't tend to waste my energy on people who already have everything, and on account of resentments that predate my birth, which I make. I will make them for my people, farmers who work for my lands, the women and children who will forge the future of the Empire. Anyway, still my own convictions. I weighed down a bit. My body relaxed as I continued. Quite hard to deserve this. You know what, Theodore, you're right. I'm more than happy to be Empress. The dream come true. A dream of which I fought. Oh, I fought because I had to earn this position. I think I'm naive. I believe ruling is easy. Even though winning the crown will stop people like you from questioning my legitimacy. I know it's hard, Theodore. But things have never been easy on me. You know nothing of my life. You hesitate to criticize it. Before you presume to tell me, I have a lot to learn. Consider expanding your knowledge. Calm down. I still feel out of breath, and my heart beat too loudly in my chest. I'm proud of my tirade. I was going to gracefully turn around and leave him there. It's down it. He recovered much faster than I thought. A graceful gesture. Found the boy was holding on his knees on the table. And he got up. You better take a bow. You may have underestimated the hurdles you had to overcome, the you had to make. And I expected him to admit he was wrong. And then taking me back, stayed quiet. Things haven't been as easy as you implied for me either, Majesty. Life in action, probably a lot of phlegm, but I ain't got that. Everything to think. It would be hypocritical for me to act offended now. Let's soften. It's on the defensive, and less genuine voice and unusual as possible. You suppose right. I believe in hard work. What is earned through sweat and tears. Without much of your abilities, you're right. At least give you a chance to prove your worth. Or dignity. Because of that is where lies my duty as the Empress. Because I believe I have anything to prove to anyone, especially to you. Of course. I didn't want to throw fuel to the fire. I didn't reply. And about before leaving the library. Accompanied by the comfortable creaking in the door. Okay. First I discovered in a place taking talismans in the temple. I was finding some quarters. What's wrong with that? These amulets hold any sort of power, they touch quite real. I thought it was anyone wishing to curse you. I was looking for his help. I met the servant on the talisman. However, stay discreet. Your orders take action. Uh. Hmm. That. That's religion. Yay. Not like the thief who looted regrets. Good fair a few months now. The thief wasn't a man. Expected but a woman. I wanted that. The trouble laid out. Fully executed. The government never managed to flee for justice. I was very upset with Mr. Murmurs with thief's talents. Justice. Oh, yes. Make her one of the things. Justice lost wavering. For crimes, no. No. We need more money. Item lore. Similar to each other. Competition to manage new events to participate in. People to flatter. Never had any illusions. In my life, I entered as the Empress, mainly because you're in paperwork, diplomatic discussions. They got me much. The decisions that change lives and minds. That no matter what, my kingdom will prosper. It's just hard work. After a mere few weeks, that's little victories. I was so hoping for something. And I tried my day. Nothing seemed to be in the cards. Grace, if you must spare me. I made it tripping. I looked at the unfinished letter in front of me and put it aside. My full attention to the master murmurs removed his hood from the door. Of course, I'm all ears. They had one caravan. Vargas. Vargas was attacked by bandits. It's in the bridge. Merchandise was stolen, but killed. The caravan not being held hostage, ransomed. Boy, that's awful. Now I used to be the one to find solutions. I immediately started going over them in my mind. The bridge is a strategic location. Could have been better protected. And over there. And that's Marjorie to send her as well. When I lost her by, to be able to secure the area and no disruptions to that heavily trafficked commercial road. Bounty on the bandits. We'll have to find the hostage and deal with the captors as swiftly as possible. And then let me finish. The expression. I realized there was more to the ground. Something in particular? I should know about the caravan, Master murmurs. Probably nodded. I'm likely after people one of my agents. Master spying and infiltration. The virus for a couple months ago now, and family nobles. I should come back with some vital information. That's due to my father's assassination. I think Mark is guilty of it. No, his glance has no connection. The assassination is still an investigation. Even if I had to admit that at the moment, it's very stalled. So stalled. What's it about? This is the issue, I don't know. Full information. The agent had been excessively prudent. Feared that his mail would be intercepted. He would like to send me written information. The messages are always coded. Telling me that one of his spies, Imperial Grace, was captured not far from the border. Came back with information of most importance. No clue what it is. Finally, now the court decided to grant me a wish, no more excitement. Regretting wishing for it in the first place. Situation didn't bode well. That's correct. You do find the consequence or the visit suspicious. Not sure of anything. They just wanted to cover their tracks. They could simply kill them there and then, kill the guards. They just got rid of the body. And it's a possibility. Received a damn ransom or just his family. Like the other 4 hostages. I don't know. In any case, I took the situation quickly. An agency should have Vargas. We can learn what our spies knows. Here, yes. But I'm afraid that they weren't discreet enough. They were to purchase the same people. Decisions you just make. Do something. Farewell, Your Majesty. I ordered them to follow the same tracks as the agent. They've been there for months. I don't think they're saying obtain quick results. I know, but the information is crucial. We don't have a choice. To try. Understand. Guidance, what do we do? This time, our office before making a decision. Do we have any information whatsoever on the bandits? They've been active all over the territory. Always follow the pattern. But we know little about them. That means we have no idea their whereabouts or who the leader is. They're trustworthy. Once residents have been paid. They truly release hostages. So far, yes, they've kept their word. Let me hear no setup. I believe the race is live. Promises. Keep it up. Having live. Oh, Your Majesty. When I meant to pay the ransom. So we could trust his bandits. Good God, this demo was really long. Chris, let's discuss. In the finance, those wild bandits, the ransom had been paid without any issues, and his data are handed back. Information that he holds is of crucial importance. Meet him in person and hear the details. Folks say the situation is serious. Go sleep. And for a bit of fresh air at the window. And I told myself, no point speculating. Read the spy's report. Turns off the foreboding I felt. About to prove right. Hey! Playing the Imperial Grace demo. We had a good time. We're not ready. Join our Discord. Follow the creation of the game in real time. Talk to the team and the community. Yay! That's it for the demo of the game. I really liked it so far. A lot of resource management, which I'm not good at. And I'd be down to keep playing. If / when it comes out. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I will see you later.